All right, Coach. First tournament of the spring is out of the way, and against a very tough field, you guys were able to finish on the podium in third place. What are your overall thoughts on the way you guys played to start up the spring?
Well, I saw a lot of good things. I think overall, I think the guys got a little frustrated on the greens. We didn't make a lot of putts. And The easy holes, we played very poorly. The hard holes, we played extremely well, which was sort of an interesting dynamic. But we knocked off some rust, I think, and it wasn't a bad finish at all. Houston and Arkansas played great. You have to hand it to them. And we were really close all 3 rounds to putting up something well under par. Matt Neesmith played extremely well the last round, one of the best rounds I've seen him play since he's been here. And you also got to give it to our freshman who went as an individual, Will Miles. He stepped up and played really well. So I thought a lot of good things came out of last week, but not the finish we wanted.
By far the best finish of the year for Matt, and it's his senior year. I know he's got a lot of expectations and a lot of goals. Ben Hogan Award list, watch list selection at this point. Is that something that you think can set him up for bigger and better things this spring?
I do. I think he got some confidence at the Jones Cup, big amateur event a few weeks ago. He finished second there right before we went to Houston. I think his game is rounding into form, and he looks really confident right now with just about everything he's doing. We got to get our big boy Will Stark going. He's real close to playing well, and I think he was a little frustrated with how he finished up this past week, but his game looks really good. So yeah, I mean, I think Matt's in position to have a really good spring, and he made the comment coming back that he wished Palmetto was starting this week because he's got a lot of momentum and felt really good about his game.
You mentioned your two freshmen, Scott Stevens and Will Miles. Will, like you said, finished in the top 10 as an individual. Scott, I think, had your low round on Friday, finished just outside the top 20. Really, both of those guys, it's getting hard to keep them out of the lineup. They really are playing their way into the team, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Well, Will's taking advantage. You know, when you play as an individual, your job is to make the coach look like a fool, and he did a good job of that. Made me look like an idiot, but for not having him in the lineup. Scott Stevens has just been a rock for us all year, and as a freshman has been very impressive with how he's handled himself, handled the pressure of being in the lineup, and he just keeps getting better. And we're expecting great things out of both of them.
You mentioned some guys who left Houston not feeling like they had the kind of weeks that they're capable of. When you have a performance you're not super happy with, especially first tournament of the new season, how is it that you kind of get those guys back on track?
Well, I think every golf tournament's an opportunity to learn whether you play well or play poorly, and you make some adjustments. There were some really good things that came out of Houston. I mean, we had some incredible barbecue. A place called Rudy's. The brisket, the moist brisket, was right on time. So, I mean, you look at the positives like that. These guys are resilient. I think that we've had some weather issues back home here. It was a little bit of a tough run right up to the tournament. I don't think we got in the kind of work that we really wanted to be perfectly honest. And I think they were slightly rusty. I think they'll be fine going forward. And this team has a lot of talent. And I just expect them to just keep getting better as the spring goes on.
Most of what you guys do the rest of the spring, at least regular season-wise, is in the state of South Carolina, including the Palmetto, like you mentioned. I know it's not your tournament, not technically a home tournament, but still you're going to be a lot closer to your campus than most of the other teams there. What sort of advantages does that provide? Instead of having to fly halfway across the country, it's a much more manageable trip for you guys.
Yeah, it has the feel of a home event in the sense that a lot of our guys have grown up playing the golf course. Matt Neesmith is from that area. Most of our players have played there at least 20, 30 times. I mean, just through junior golf and the Palmetto Amateur, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's nice to be just going 45 minutes down the road. It's also nice to be defending again. We were defending champions at Houston, didn't quite get it done, so we'll have to see if we can defend it at Palmetto.
What are a couple things in the 2 weeks leading up? I know you mentioned you guys didn't quite putt as well as you wanted to in Houston. A couple of key points for you guys to work on in your practice as you get ready for the Palmetto here in a couple weeks.
I think the big thing is just going to be our scoring games. putting for one, doing a lot of wedge work, tightening up our distance control. I think that's one of the things that we struggled on this past week overall as a team is the easy stretch of holes, numbers 8 through 15, where you have to hit a lot of have to hit a lot of wedges or take advantage of some shorter holes. I think we just were a little bit loose in that department, and that's my fault. I've got to structure some things a little bit better and get them dialed in. But I think if we tighten up those areas of our games, we're going to be fine.
Good deal. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck going forward.
Okay, thank you.